Ladies and gentlemen, it's Thursday, June 13th, 2013, and this is Day 9 Daily 595, where we learn to be a better asshole. Today, we're going to take Stephano's stupid, boring, uninteresting, extremely effective anti-zerg, anti-swarm, anti-happiness, zerg vs. Protoss style. We're going to analyze it so you can steal it and get on the ladder and make people mad. God, I don't want to... Ugh. God. Okay, look. The jet lag is ruining my life. Because let me explain to you how jet lag works. You stay up late the night you land from someplace. I don't know, let's pick a country at random here. Seoul, South Korea, that's 16 hours ahead of Los Angeles. Fuck. And you get home, you stay up late, and you go to bed, you wake up at 8:30 a.m. with the birds singing outside. Thank you, birds, for the prop sound effects. That's a good bird. That bird's my dog, man. It's a weird statement. Still, stay up late, go to bed, get up at 8:30. My sleep schedules are set. You know what happens on Tuesday and Wednesday night? You go to bed, and at like 1:30 a.m., your body's like, let's wake up and do stuff. And you're like, body, my eyes hurt because they're dried out. I've been asleep for like 30 minutes, man. We gotta sleep more. It's like, no, let's like bike somewhere. We don't own a bicycle. Go to sleep. This happens on and off until it's 9, and I was ambitious. I scheduled my day to begin at 9. I have like meetings and people to chat to and dailies to prepare for. So I'm coming up on tonight's daily, and I'm like, okay, we just have to get through this one daily because then we're gonna get The Last of Us at midnight launch tonight, so I can play it tomorrow morning all day. That's all I'm gonna do tomorrow is play The Last of Us, and if it's really good, I'll probably just play it till I beat it, as long as I don't get tired. Because I want to enjoy that experience. So I'm trying to get through. I'm like, come on, body. Come on, brain. Focus. And start going through replays, trying to look, and like nothing was coagulating. I looked at Stephano's stupid style. And I was just like, whatever, it's fine. If I'm tired, belligerent, may as well record myself doing a strategy that makes me feel internally belligerent. God, this... Okay, like 99%... Okay, here's the thing. There are many days where I'm really tired when I do the daily. Like, exhausted and feeling unmotivated. But I'm like, no, I should do it. And what always gets me excited is the strategy. Because it's like seeing a whole bunch of little pieces fit together into like a beautiful portrait that I didn't even see until I looked at the strategy that it could fit together that way. So that's what excites me. That's really the main reason I'm able to do this every day is because I like the strategy so much. And I'd probably say 99% of strategies just totally make me quiver with excitement. Not this one. Ilyes Satouri, qu'est-ce que fuck? That's what the fuck, Stephano. Okay, so let me explain to you the style. First of all, we're never going to attack ever. We're just not going to attack. We don't do that. We're going to sit on our ass. And you know what we're not going to do? Expand either. We're not really going to expand very much. Nah, not a lot of expansions. We're going to build defensive structures. Swarm hosts. We're going to wait. We're going to get Vipers. And you know what we're going to do? When he's getting close, we're going to steal one of those units, we're going to kill him with the swarm hosts, and then we're going to go get some more energy with our Vipers and do it again. Not even with big units anymore. Just stalkers. One at a time. Just pulling them. Bringing them in. Getting them with that, you know, live at the Apollo, sort of like Kane to pull them by the neck back to the Locusts. And plenty of Corruptors to boot. And every game you'll play doing this is going to be like 45 minutes long, and you'll never overwhelm in true Zerg Swarm style, and all the games will kind of be like, oh, and then I pulled another unit. Oh, yeah. So we're just going to do that. Obviously, the questions that we have are, how do we safely get to this style? How do we see it in action being used effectively? And how do we live with ourselves? We're going to try to answer the first two of those. So here we go. These birds are happy, and they're trying to make me smile. See, look at this. On point. Everything enabled today. Good luck, good luck. So good luck, have fun, baby night. With a period being all grammatical and whatnot. Alright. right, let's Little Big 11 in chat asks how you can use a style without being an asshole. It's really hard. First of all, you have to not play Zerg. Oh no, I guess you're gonna have to be one. That's what's gonna have to happen if you want to utilize the strategy on the ladder. In fact, when your opponent says "Good luck, have fun" at the start of the game, the way you should actually respond is, "I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry. So I apologize in advance for everything I've done." You know, doing this style of Zerg versus Protoss, I mean, it's not really that horrible. It's not horrific, right? It's not like you're going to go to hell or something like that. But it's the equivalent of someone who says the phrase, "I'm just saying." You know these people? You're like, "Dude, those shoes don't go with that belt at all." You give him that look, and he goes, "I'm just saying. Just saying." Any time in real life that you say, "I'm just saying," what you really should have said is, "I'm so sorry, that was incorrect of me to have said. I spoke too soon, and I am sorry." You know what I mean? Dude, Shelly, you're dating her? Well, I mean, she's kind of annoying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. See, as you say, I'm just saying, it means I have fucked up, right? Just saying. Oh. Did Prometheus get banned from the chat? Let me... Alright. All caps bot. God, I'm so sorry. Once upon a time, Stephano did an early expand. Okay, cool. Let's talk about the journey to getting to this ever so infamous style. Once upon a time, Zerg players like to go pool, then hatch first, but given the propensity for Protosses to place a rather early gateway, Zergs are responding by going hatch first, then pool, but Stephano's being a little cheeky, going yes, then pool. Naturally, what you're going to be doing is getting yourself up a fast jurgening speed. So we're going to go to the Stephano cam. Okay, I don't see an early expand. I got to build Zerglings. And Zergling speed as well. And with this build, you probably should bring Tequila, because there's a lot of emotional issues you're going to be dealing with. Like, how am I such a horrible person and yet life has not punished me? Do I need to punish myself? Okay. So Stephano's doing the usual mixture of things. He's getting some Zerglings to deal with this pressure. He sees 2 Zealots. He immediately knows that there's going to be a Mothership Core coming, and there could potentially be a 3rd Gateway unit, another Zealot, another Stalker. So he's kind of doing a little bit of Zerglings and a little bit of drones. Yes, yes. Cassie DD says, appropriately states it as the bore them into submission build. Perfect. Perfect! Alright, let's go ahead and streamline things through a little bit. Creep spread is a fairly critical part to this build. So getting this 3rd queen is essential. I actually prefer, if you are doing this mid and late game style, the swarm host heavy thing, to actually go for the 4 queen style opening. You know, using the Zerglings to counter is very normal, very good. Roach Warren, this is a declaration of, oh, I was feeling a little bit scared, so I went ahead and got my Roach Warren up. And Stephano will respond doubly appropriately, getting himself up a 3rd base as fast as possible. Now, I'm sure you can clearly see why getting up these creep tumors is really important, because we'd like to be able to get spine crawlers in good locations. Because remember, we're going to try to avoid making units, because we're not going to be the Zerg this game. We're going to be the jerk. We're just going to build swarm homes and defensive structure, vapors, and pull them in. So we need to have our creep spread good. Ordinarily, we want to get this 3rd as early as possible. Normally, we want to get this 3rd as early as possible if we're playing the Zerg. But it's actually okay to delay it a little bit. It's more important that we just stay alive, stay pulled back. And of course, if we're up against a gateway first player, this is also fine. Stephano feeling a little bit lost. He doesn't know if he's up against Robo, Mass Gateway follow-up, which would be probably happening at 8:30. He doesn't know if he's up against a Stargate Robo. Yeah, he just doesn't know. So, getting himself as early a 3rd as he feels comfortable with. You don't need to rush it. You don't need to rush it at all. You don't need to worry about this at all. Okay. Okay, just defending things off, deflecting things up. Now, this is kind of an important adjustment to make. This looks like a standard strategy, getting the single evolution chamber and adding on the +1 missile attack. But we obviously are going to be going swarm host later. I want you to note how this build can flow into the next one. That's the first thing I want to highlight. Very typically, if we're on 2 bases, we can't really afford to go for the double Evo chamber. So getting a single Evo chamber with the +1 missile attack is about as good as we can do to support our later tech to the swarm hosts, which are somewhere here. Yeah, there it is. Swarm hosts. However, if we're up against someone who's really, really aggressive, no problem. We're gonna have our +1. We can even get roach speed. There it is. And we'll be able to do this sort of flooding. So Stephano preemptively built some roaches, preemptively built some zerglings, just in case. And as we find out, only 5 and 7 steal back to droning en masse. This is, I think, one of the most important things that we are seeing right here. This single evolution chamber with the roach speed. This is simply the declaration. If you try to get cheeky with me, and you try to mess with me, I can flood roaches, and I can do a counter swing. You'll see that the infestation pit and spire are both coming out quite swiftly. If he gets cheeky with you and tries to overrun you, again, roaches, and most importantly, spire as a follow-up tool to kill that off. So that's against the aggressive circumstance. Another type of aggression is a Protoss player who goes mass air. Well, if our end composition is Swarm Host Corruptor Viper, there's really 2 ways we're going to do that. We're going to see him going air and get our corruptors first, and then go into Swarm Host. Or 2, we see him getting a big ground army first. So we get the Swarm Host first, and then we get the corruptors around Hive. So some very simple ordering going on here.
The Hive cluster is under attack.
Sentries going down. Ermagerd. Oh, second hatch in the main base. This evolution chamber is often not seen if you're getting ready to do like a mass swarm the front style. But of course we want to make sure that we get the carapace and the range. Enduring locusts straight away. Why? We saw units. This is very likely a hallucination. So we are more than happy. We are more than content to, you know, make some lings, make some roaches. Begin preparing for some sort of anti-ground type play. Or some ground-based play. So cool, we have to be able to deal with that ground. So okay, now that we're feeling safe again, we're just going for the extractors. Here's one part that makes me want to rip my face apart. Normally, when we see a player build a whole bunch of units, we think, ah, got you, Zerg. Zerg, you built those units, and they're useless now. You can't do anything with them. So if you're a Zerg, the converse of that is, oh no, I built units, and now there's no attack coming. These units have been useless. And then you have to do something with them. You have to justify their existence. Stephano's not going to do that. He's going to say, oh, whatever, I'm still going to go swarm host. So this is just like, whatever, I don't know. I don't know, this is like a door with 5 locks on it in a suburban neighborhood with no crime. I don't know, it can't hurt. I mean, I don't lock them. But I guess I'll destroy some destructible rocks. It seems reasonable. And given our limited poking and prodding at the front, we see not a lot of air. We see an emphasis on ground. See, 2 robos. Cool. So, building swarm hosts. You might say, why not build Corruptor? Because we don't quite have a sense if he is low or high on gateway count. So look at these things running around. Going left and right and pooping, creeping, patrolling. And we're going to poke up here, we're going to kill a rock. And then just building swarm hosts. There's the +1 attack, but in the meantime, swarm hosts. Expand and gas, because again, swarm hosts. Look at the unit count. Once we hit 70 to 75 workers with most races, that's when we're like, alright, done making workers. But of course, in this style, we need to have defensive structures. So we're not only going to be swarm hosting, we're going to be droning. Now, normally Zerg has some plan to deal with a Protoss player who's taking a 4th base. Ordinarily, truly, the fear of letting Protoss get a 4th base. But remember, we're never going to attack ever, no matter what, because we're the worst in America, or France for that matter. we are just the worst thing to happen to the Zerg race. We're just going to sit here and go, oh, he's taking a fourth. No, shucks. It's much like when you have that crush on that cute girl and you've been waiting months and months and months and still not doing anything, and some braver boy goes up and says, will you go out with me? And she's like, sure, totally, I guess. And you're like, well, that happens, and you give up immediately. That's how we're going to treat our expansions with this strategy. Doesn't that hurt your soul and your heart? Because it should. When we go back into the game, yep. See, Stephano adding on a lot of defensive structures. Keep in mind, we're not going to attack at any point. Where these go, it doesn't matter. It's like throwing coins into a fountain. You may make a wish, but if you throw in like 100 coins into that fountain, it's actually not going to make the wish come true any more often. So, good. We're getting upgrades. Only upgrades for swarm hosts, corruptors, and then we're just droning. Droning, 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 droning. Much like us, we're droning too. Droning, droning, dronage, total dronage. Vipers coming out. And remember, if we open Swarm Host, we want to back up and get a lot of Corruptors. And if we got ourselves a lot of Corruptors first, we want to back up and get Swarm Host. 89 drones. 89 in time. Is Baby Knight going to take a 5th base? Oh, hate it when that happens. Totally happens. Sometimes we're just going to let him do it. Because the style, the reason this works is locusts are free, and the energy on the Vipers are free. So we're just drawing with this free energy into these free units of locusts, and we're getting free kills. More or less is the structure that we're going for. Let me actually rearrange the camera a little bit. Oh, that's good.
The hive cluster is under attack.
Alright, so, oh gosh. Oh, well, in the late game, we're worried because Swarm Hosts are the worst defensive unit in the game, period. And I actually do not mean that in any exaggeration at all. They truly are the worst defensive unit in the game. So Stephano's just going to build spores and spines wherever he can. Spores and spines and spreading creep. You know, maybe build this hatch here so we can get more spores here. Maybe some spores there. Put an overlord there, which will likely signal us to build some spores and spines down here. Stephano, oh, still rallying. Okay, I'm going to speed this game up because it hurts my face. Alright, sweet, cool. So whenever we want to take an expansion, we just build more spine crawlers than make any sense whatsoever. Doesn't matter because we're making so many drones. 78 drones, nice. Cool, good, good, good. And out comes Corruptors. Oh my god, Dark Templar. Oh no, is there Dark Templar here? No, wait, no, never mind. We're actually fine. So, here we go. We're going to speed it on up. Speed it on up. We're, of course, moving our spine crawlers forward, and we are adding more spine crawlers. I'd like you to note that there is some skill that's coming up right here. In particular, we need to be aware of what expansions we are going to deny him of. We are going to let him get this 5th, this 4th, this 3rd. This is the expansion we are going to deny, as well as this expansion. As long as he can't get this one and this one, we win. Now, normally we like to use quotes like this, but because we're doing this sort of build, we're going to use under quotes. There's a little bit of strategy coming up here. Yeah. Aren't under quotes just creepy? Ugh, dude, it's a legit strat. Stephano, tower defense. So on any map, and as we'll see this coming up, it's pretty critical to identify what these critical expansions are and where these attack paths are. That these spine crawlers are also helping us defend this base, whereas these spine crawlers are helping us defend this base. What is happening? What in the fuck? What in the literal fuck? It's like all the birds outside are getting ready to revolt. They're done chirping. They're just like beating their tribal drums. Is it done? my god. This is the worst. This is gonna be about the worst end to a part 1. I think we're good. Alright, we're fine. When we come back, we're gonna examine how expanding patterns and controlling expanding patterns are important. You guys